Hello, Mineral Springs fifth graders. All right, today you're going to only hear my voice. We're going to dive right back into the Great Depression video.
We're going to learn about the Great Depression. What was the Great Depression? The Great Depression was a time period during the 1930s when there was a worldwide economic crisis and mass unemployment. The decade of the 1920s, called the Roaring Twenties, was prosperous for most people. Then, on Tuesday, October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed. It was called Black Tuesday.
All right, that's a good stopping point. All right, remember with RI 5.9, you're supposed to use multiple sources to integrate information so that you can write and speak about a topic knowledgeably. But I know some of you are thinking this isn't more than one source, Miss Kelly. This is just the Great Depression video. But within this video, you have multiple topics. And the first one we're going to talk about is Black Tuesday and the effects that it had on people during this time. But keep in mind, the three words that we're going to talk about. Topic, which is the subject, source, where you find your information, and you're finding your information within this video. All right? So we have topic, source, and the main one, integrating. Integrating information means to put it together from these multiple places that we're going to get it from within the video. And a lot of you did that on yesterday, the ones that sent their responses in. Now, I had a few with a simple no because of blank or no, yes because of blank. But think about it. Your teacher, Mrs. Kelly, would like for you to always use evidence to support your conclusions. Now, just giving me a yes, blah, 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 no, blah, 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 but you didn't think to give me evidence. I thank you for your participation, of course, but I need the evidence to see what you based your thinking on. All right? Okay. So remember, the main idea is to put information together, integrate information from the different topics we're going to talk about. And a lot of you decided to use the route of it's hard times, people are losing their jobs, no one is hiring, of course, people can't pay their bills, they're losing money, losing cars, losing homes, and you came to the conclusion no, based on the evidence that you gave me from at least 2 or 3 topics discussed in the video. And you're on to something. I like that. So now let's continue and let's see the effects of Black Tuesday.
And it was the official beginning of the Great Depression. Many people lost all of their money. Banks closed, causing panic across the country. Businesses and industry were greatly affected and began to let workers go or lower wages. Millions of workers were thrown out of work. Unfortunately, at the same time, farmers on the Great Plains were hit hard with a drought and horrendous dust storms.
All right, in a few minutes we're going to go into dust storms. Now, but I want you to keep the question that you responded to front and center. Remember, the question asks, would you feel safe investing your money, your hard-earned money, in the stock market? All right? So, would you do this based on this source, the multiple topics that we're talking about? Do you have enough evidence to support a yes or enough evidence to support a no? And make sure that you explain it by using the evidence. The Dust Bowl.
It became known as the Dust Bowl. The natural disaster of the Dust Bowl worsened the effects of the Depression.
If it worsened the effects of the Great Depression, do you have enough evidence to support a yes that you would invest in it based on this source that you're using? Based on this source, the multiple topics that we talked about, do you have anything, evidence to support it? And I know some of you are saying, well, in AIG, we invest in the stock market, hypothetically, and Miss Kelly, it's a chance that you have to take. All right. But remember, we're talking about this Great Depression video.
Herbert Hoover was president at the time. Many Americans blamed him for the Great Depression. Americans who had lost their houses began living in makeshift shanty towns, which they called Hoovervilles. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected president. Roosevelt began to establish programs known as the New Deal. The New Deal programs were designed to provide jobs and jumpstart the economy.
Okay, although we're jumpstarting the economy, do you have enough evidence from multiple sources to claim that, okay, I would invest in the stock market?
The New Deal eased the hardships of the Great Depression. However, the U.S. economy was still extremely bad throughout, until the U.S. became involved in World War II, bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941. The war effort turned the economy around and ended the Great Depression.
Let me explain that. I know you're thinking, well, Miss Kelly, a war on top of what we're going through, how did that improve our way of life? Well, it's like this. It's not necessarily the war itself, but it was the money that was generated from the things that were being built in factories. People were able to go back to work to help the war efforts. And therefore, because they were receiving a check now, they're stimulating the economy. The economy is getting better because of this. I know it's a gloomy situation, but because of things like that, we were able to enjoy life just a little better as far as getting our needs met, like the basic needs, having a place to stay, having food, even down to having a job that gave us a little security. But remember what our target is. Do we have enough, I guess, information to string together, to put together, to claim that it would be wise or safe to invest in our money in the stock market based on this source and the multiple topics that are discussed? All right, fifth graders. Thank you for tuning in.
Now that you better understand the Great Depression, think about this. Is the stock market a safe place to invest money? Why or why not?